Our latest USA Today Gallup poll over the weekend asked Americans their thoughts about the fact that the projected automobile bailout legislation didn't pass. No bill came out of the Senate and the Congress. Well, as we've been seeing in data up to this point in other polls, Americans are split right down the middle. You see the numbers in front of you. About half say that they are glad that it failed, and another half, virtually the same percent of Americans, say they wish that it had passed. Typically, there are partisan differences, and this isn't new. We've been seeing this consistently. Republicans strongly likely to say they're glad that the legislation failed and didn't get passed. Democrats, on the other hand, much more likely to say they would rather have seen the legislation pass and become law. This split has been evident ever since we've been asking about it, and of course we see it in Congress. Democrats pushing for the legislation, Republicans holding back, and these legislators apparently are representing the rank and file in their parties out there across America. Now, a couple of interesting questions about the implications of all of this on automobile sales. Kind of the bottom line, does the fact that one or more of the U.S. companies might go bankrupt make you less likely to want to buy a car from those companies? Well, you see the numbers there. 7% say they're much less willing to buy a U.S. car because of the threat of bankruptcy, and another 18% say somewhat less likely. That still leaves the vast majority who say it doesn't make any difference to them, but still, 7 and 18 are not insignificant numbers, and if that's really the case, that could be hurting the sales of U.S. automobile companies in this period of time where everyone is waiting to see what's going to happen to the U.S. auto companies. What happens if a company actually declares bankruptcy? 30% of Americans say if that happened, they would not buy a car from that company. I guess if you want to look at the positive side, that means the majority of Americans still would buy a car from a bankrupt U.S. automobile company. But again, 30%, about a third, is a pretty big number. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, editor-in-chief of the Gallup poll.